Welcome from Mexico. Today is the 31st of March and I didn't make it to Costa Rica yet. This video is some kind special. I want to answer a few questions that I got in the last weeks, even here in Mexico or online from somebody else. And I want to clear these questions, and then I want to show you footage that was not in the other episodes while I'm commenting it or even not commenting it. Let's start with the first question. How did it all happen? To make it really short, Christoph has a WhatsApp group for his community, let's say. And in that group, he wrote a message, hey, is there anybody who can bring sails from Las Palmas to Capo Verde? And if that person is interested, that person can sail across the Atlantic with us. I had a flight booked to Germany from Cyprus, and from there it was super easy to go to Las Palmas. In the end, we moved not from Las Palmas because the manufacturer was not quick enough, so it was from Croatia. But instead of me flying to Croatia and pick them up, we sent them by shipment to Lisbon. And from Lisbon, we flew to Capo Verde. You've seen that in the video in the first episode, and delivered the sails and then stayed on the boat to go to Brazil. What did it cost, and can I do the same? Yes, you can. What did it cost? For me, difficult because I had several flights and I had to pay the shipment of the sails partly. So that was my share for this trip. But the cabins are for rent. So if you are interested in this boat that you've seen, I think episode 8 or 9, you can go and rent a cabin. I don't know the prices. I think it's somewhere 1,500, 2,000 euros. Don't fool me. Maybe they change also. But these are the prices-ish, and then you can stay a week on the boat and sail around and get your own experience if you like sailing. Other questions were, how was the trip? Oh, it's a dream of me, I'm so jealous, etc. You've seen the videos, hopefully, the other episodes, and you know all the answers to these questions, and you know if it is a dream of me or not. Right? But before we continue with the footage, I want to explain why I am in Mexico. So what happened is that we drove from João Pessoa to Recife to catch a flight to Sao Paulo. That worked without any issues. Being in Sao Paulo, 2 a.m. at the check-in or at the gate for the flight, they are telling us that they can't let us fly to Panama and then to Costa Rica, because if we don't have the yellow fever vaccination, we are not allowed to enter Panama or Costa Rica with Brazil as a transit country. We didn't really check before, we should have. Our mistake, to be honest. Yes, it's sad. So we spent the whole night in the airport waiting for the counter to open to see if they can do any arrangements for us. We had some fun with the immigration office because not really flying away and not really coming back, but still get a stamp for 90 days. Why not? It worked. In the end, I decided to fly to Mexico next morning. When I went to the counter of another airline, I asked, hey, what are my options? And 20 minutes later, I've been in the plane. And my girlfriend, Sylvia, she came 3 or 4 days later. She stayed in Sao Paulo with Corinne for a couple of days. Corinne then flew to, I don't know, I think she stayed in Sao Paulo for a while. Later she went to Rio, and I think now she's coming to Mexico soon, if I'm not wrong. And Florian and Cynthia are still in Brazil. I think they still stay there. Margarete and Christoph came to Mexico after they've been to Costa Rica because they had a vaccination, so good luck for them. And so we met here again, and then Margarete made some trips and came back again, so we met again, and now if Corinne is coming, so this group is not really separating so much. That's for the talking of all the questions that came up in the last weeks and days, and now we're gonna jump into the footage and I'm gonna recap the whole trip a little bit and explain what you see and let you enjoy some music and some scenes for yourself. Have fun! After our flight, we arrived in Capo Verde, and on the first day, we woke up in a beautiful bay. It was really nice to be there. We were able to snorkel many small fish, sometimes in swarms, sometimes really colorful. The bigger ones, they don't have so many groups, so it's okay. And everybody was on the boat enjoying snorkeling. Some guests came. You've seen maybe the episode 2 where we made the Staatenlos song. So that was our guide in Capo Verde, and he came with his friend Rita. And yeah, we had a good time together. We enjoyed and prepared the boat to move to the other bay, where we stayed, I think, 2 or 3 more nights before we finally sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. Arriving in that bay in the morning, some locals were driving with jet skis. So I think Josh and Florian initially decided, yeah, let's go with jet skis. That's really nice. I like it a lot. Let's have some fun. So they rented the jet skis, and you've seen more of that footage in the song, but it was a blast for them. I didn't ride. I enjoyed doing videos. After having fun with all jet ski action, etc., you've seen that we started our trip, and yeah, a lot of us became seasick, but that is okay. We managed. And when we got a little bit better, we also tried out the new sail, the Texationis Seft front sail, which only is usable if the wind comes from the rear. Gigantic sail, really impressive. I didn't know what was written on it, so I was amazed to see it first time folding up. And seeing the crew working with it and putting all the effort in together was really lovely. I really liked to see how they grow together and had fun with that. Shortly after that, it was pretty noisy, I think next day or something, next morning, because there were some whales passing by, so everybody was like, woo, whales! Barely viewable on this video. I'm sorry I don't have a better shot, but yeah, that was the first wild animal we've seen. The next wild animals have been the dolphins when we arrived at the St. Peter and Paul rock mountain, which was in the morning, perfectly timed by Skipper and Christoph. Congratulations for that. Many, many birds. Really nice nature experience. And from there we continued to Fernando, so we had one incredible sunset before we finally arrived at the island, where we had high hopes to go on land, but that didn't work because we were not allowed to. So we found a good spot in the bay with nice neighbors, which were, I think, even from Brazil, and staying there a couple of days already. So they left, I think, 2 days later. But yeah, we felt welcome. We had a good time, and then pretty soon the dolphins arrived, which was cool to say hello. And we spent time with pumping up the gigantic flamingo. Swimming with the dolphins is an amazing experience. So here you can enjoy some lovely scenes. splashed by the dolphins and the big birds that came when the fisher boats were there, we were still waiting for another ship to arrive. As you've seen in episode 1 or 2, we wanted to give a sail to another boat, the Aber auch gut from the Blue Horizon crew. It didn't happen till Fernando de Noronha, because there they arrived finally and we were able to meet them. I didn't know them before. I think it's a really nice group, 3 people, 2 guys, 1 girl, and it's really inspiring what they do. Kind of fearless, medium well prepared, and yeah, just living the dream they had and exploring the world with their little steel boat. So there is an interview coming up after this episode about them or with them. I only can say watch it, encourage to watch it, because you will get infected by the inspiring nature they have, and that is why I did this interview. I love to share that for other maybe young people, because they are 23 and 24, just to start something nice. After they left the boat, we had 2 more days to sail to the mainland of Brazil. Conditions were, let's say, wet and rough, as you can see by moving soup. But we managed and we survived. Even going through the little canal we had to pass at night was fine, so that we were able next morning to finally found our spot in the little marina and go there to go on land after 16 days, I think. And we really enjoyed it. We stayed 2 nights in the hotel, as you've seen in the episode. We went to bars and clubs and restaurants and had a really good time, enjoyed that a lot. And then I did some interviews with all of the crew beside Florian and Cynthia, because they left and we somehow didn't do it. Also, the interview with the Blue Horizon happened. And in the end, we had to say goodbye to the SY Startenos, goodbye to Brazil, and coming to Mexico, not Costa Rica, and having a blast here. It's beautiful. So I want to use the chance to again thank Christoph for the opportunity to do this trip, to sail across the Atlantic Ocean. I want to thank Josh for bringing us safe from A to B, and the whole crew to be there with me and giving me such a good time.